still on it. Build on it. We still on it.
What's up? Ooh, man. I don't know if you can see that. I can see it. Well, I'm getting all cleaned up here. This is kind of the video that we've been, well, I've been wondering how to make this, and I'll get to it. Just give me a little bit. Be patient with me here. Pack up and get out of here. I bought a new POV cam. One, because, dude, just having a GoPro in front of my face while I'm driving, especially with this much power now, it's kind of dangerous. So I'm kind of over that, which I like the POV shots. They're cool. Got some boats ripping around in the background, which is pretty cool. So this build's pretty badass. I'm gonna say this is where a lot of people should freaking be calling it quits. This is like the perfect car. I'm just gonna say that the 1.7 liter blower, it's insane how far it will get you. When I first bought the car, I was kind of pissed because it's like more crap to buy. Like you think, oh my gosh. But I don't know, man. I think a lot of people could actually call it good and like live with this. The chop is, you know, obviously that's tuned in. I mean, I could get rid of it and make it factory smooth like it was before, but the chop, it's nasty. My tuner asked me if I wanted it, and I said, hell yeah. Also, I'm gonna try to get some flames, but I'm gonna be honest with you. It's taking me a little bit to make this video because it seems like the Iowa State Patrol, well, the state of Iowa, I don't know, but it seems like they're using the highway patrol as their goons anymore. They're trying to crack down on street racing, and so in turn, I've been getting some exhaust tickets. So they're trying to pull the same California crap on us. So I don't want to be on the list with those people. You know, some modified muffler. Hire an attorney. If you need help with it, just get a hold of me. If you're local, yeah, we'll get this handled. But anyways, anywho, it doesn't make me really want to come out and drive, or, you know, which I was getting pissed because I spend a lot of money doing this, and, you know, they want to pretty much, you know, kill, you know, your passion, your hobby, and I ain't gonna let it. And this right here, I'm gonna give a shout out to Too High PSI. This kit is freaking clean. It's badass. Everything sits in here real nice. I went over the mod list at the last minute. I did not tell you guys, but we installed a MAC valve. Now, if you remember, when I had the supercharger lid off, that little butterfly valve, or that throttle body looking thing in there, that's actually what controls your boost. So as the car's going into boost, that valve shuts, so that way, you know, pressure can build up inside the supercharger itself. So with this, I actually can tune this to have boost by gear. Oh my God, hang on. Gosh dang, man. Look at that. So anyways, I will tell you this. I don't know who GM uses for their serpentine belts, but on the way back from Texas, I lost my AC. I don't know. I drove around I drove around with it for a couple days. Car drove just fine, but I couldn't like get on it because the tune hadn't been like ironed out, but it was like, you know, as long as you didn't go over like 5 pounds of boost or whatever, it was okay to drive, which was cool because it allowed me to cut the bleeding on my rental car, because that was like, man, outside of my week, each additional day was like 125 bucks. So until my tuner could fly in to Texas, that actually helped me out quite a bit. So the green belt was something that I was really wanting, just because if you stick with the regular belt, they don't last long. They slip, and they could actually go back and look on my tune, and they saw that I was slipping quite a bit. So now this new Mac valve that ties in so that electronically controls that little butterfly valve in there. So whenever I'm in gear and it can tell like a certain amount of throttle or whatever, it knows to pull boost out, and it will hold it at it's kind of like a wastegate, kind of how I would explain it. So they got a lot of tricks, man. A lot of tricks up their sleeve. So yeah, so kind of like the McLaren 720S, like you don't get full boost until like 3rd gear, kind of how this setup works too. And I can cut it off, I can kill it. It's just got a little rocker switch inside the cab. Boom, I can cut it off, 100% power, and then you just have to pedal the car yourself. So I had to go back to 373 gears. Was I in favor of it? Here, let me say on the car real quick. Make sure I gotta turn the screen out here. Was I in favor of it? No, not really. I wasn't, simply because the gearing is too short. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the benefits. I think the 285 was better, but it's still too tall. So I think if we had a good compromise, whatever happened to 327? You know, the 3.27 ratio GM, whatever happened to that? So I think if I had that, that would be a better compromise, middle ground, something, you know what I mean? Ooh. Is that better? Man, what is going on with this camera? But anyways, the 327, I believe, would honestly be a way better compromise for sure. Did it clean first gear up like I thought it would? Yes, it did. Here we go. Perfect. I'll use an ink pen. That'll work. As a matter of fact, I'll just get my crap ready right now. That way we can just go. It did clean the gearing up, but like I said, with your shift extension and the way it comes in power and out of power, it's just moving too fast now. And actually, I've been reading on some other forums, because now, and I don't know if this clutch, because like I said last time, the microphone cut out. I put a new wire in, so it's got a brand new wire. We shouldn't be having that crap anymore. Yeah. So now if I get too many RPMs, the clutch is not letting go. Like how do you explain it? It's very hard to pop out of gear, but it's impossible to go into the next gear. If I drop down to like the lower 6s, 62, 6300 RPM, boom, I can shift, no lift shift real easy. So it's a whole new battle. Does this clutch need more time, more miles? Probably. If that doesn't fix it, what am I gonna do? I don't know, because honestly, it's gonna be a big problem. If I gotta go to another transmission or whatever, I might have to look at that, because like I said, I can't re-gear this transmission. I can't buy another one to put in, and so essentially I'm kind of stuck with what I got. This is what I hate about pushing the limits of Camaros, because Corvette gets everything. They focus all their money on Corvette, and then Camaro just is, and it sucks, because I like Camaro better. I like Camaro. I always have, probably always will. I just don't like how low Corvettes are. I like the ground clearance. This car is so amazing. It didn't get finished. They needed to put a lot more money and R&D in it. There's just a lot of things that are that could be cleaned up with this car. Moving on from that, the gear ratio I did here. Let me just take a look here. I made some notes. I didn't want to miss anything. So the power, as far as like having a broad spectrum of driving this car, that car, you know, 4-digit cars here, there, everywhere, of different platforms and everything. But Matt drove it. He thinks anywhere from 800 to maybe 900. 900 would be pushing it. I don't think so. So wheel. So but I'm also gonna be honest with you up front. When I share my 60 to 130 times, timing is still pulled out of it. And timing's still pulled out of it, and we went over it. It's shy about 4 degrees in some points, because we took the tune, because I logged it, ran it, and did all the stuff after I got back to Iowa and put the 373 in. You don't want to bog the motor down too hard, which that 285 was. So here's my analogy, and I'll tell everybody with actually, you know what, I'm gonna save it because I'll just forget it. I'll save that for another video. So we're missing about 3 to 4 degrees of timing. That's quite a bit. It's quite a bit. So there's a lot of power yet to be gained from this. So the 60 to 130 times is not gonna be maxed out, or as gonna be full tilt, because the crank, as it rides in there, you know what I'm saying, and then you put boost and you're increasing the each cylinder air mass pressure. That piston goes up, it's a lot more boom, and it bogs down the motor, so that crank starts wanting to bow and flex. So you don't want to be stressing the crank out like that. That's what my tuner told me. So we had to pull some timing out for the 285. Was the tune maxed out for the 285? Yes. Was it maxed out for 373? No. They're telling me to keep this 373 in, which I kind of agree, because here's the theory on that and the way it goes. I'll just do it with you here right now on my calculator. I'll just like split the difference. So if you take 3.73 minus 2.85, because that's the other differential is, you get 0.88. You can divide that by 2, is going to be 0.44. So, so if you take 3.73 minus 0.44, 0.44, it's 329. So that would be like the best ideal difference split I would see. I think that would perfect. That would put this, like I said, I've always said it for all along. I think a 330, 3.30 to 1 rear diff in this car would be butter. But we can't do that. We can't do that. We gotta weld this shit together, and we gotta make this to where nobody makes parts for this thing, and you either eat with the fork or the spoon. Pick one. So anyways, 329, the 329, 373. So the C6 ZR1 has a ideal 3.42 to 1. So the 3.42 to 1, and this car is actually heavier than like a C6 Corvette would be. I think those cars actually really weigh like 3,500 pounds. So it's kind of, adding a little bit in to, like 0.15 or something. So 0.44 minus 0.15 equals 0.29. So if you take 3.73 minus 0.29, 3.44. I think if this thing had like a 355, which was also another really super common, that's what the Dodge Viper comes with. I think if I had that, it would really help or offset. But I'm gonna be honest with you right now. So I took this car to a CAT scale, to a local truck stop. One that I trusted had certified CAT scales, whatever that means. But and I weighed the car. Actually, I got the paperwork right here, and it did weigh down to the pound exactly 3880. So 3,000. This car kind of comes in underweight, and I did leave it with camera gear, everything. All I did was, that's how I drive it. It was almost a full tank of gas. I left camera gear, all this stuff in it. I didn't care. I mean, because it's an accurate representation of how I drive on the street. So if I pull up to a stoplight, this is what I have in the car. Car says manufacturer spec curb weight 3903, so it's coming in a little bit lighter. You know, I did the BMR suspension. I haven't really did anything to cut weight. I've only added weight. So I would like to see what a stock manual 6 coupe ZL1 actually does weigh. I've seen and heard other Corvettes come in at 3660. So it's like 220 pounds heavier than a Corvette, way more comfortable, way more usable, and I think it looks better. So it's a win-win-win. But yeah, I think if this thing had like a 355 or a 330 or something like that, some kind of better middle ground, this car would be able to stretch its legs a lot better. Also, let me just I don't want to miss anything here before we hit the road. Yeah, my 60 to 130 times. I'm not logging it anymore. I'm not showing that stuff. Simply because there's a big scam of like insurance companies dropping people, and I don't need to be dealing with that crap. So with the 285, I got a faster time than I did with the 373. And I'm being honest. The 373, I think the fastest I got was a 6.57, but same tune with the 285, I got a 6.42. So that's 15ths of a second faster with the 285 to 1. You guys don't understand how much that wheel speed really helps out. And like I said, 373 to 1 is fine if you're leaving the car stock. If you're driving the car stock or at 600, 650, 700 crank horsepower level, stock gearing is fine. But once you start climbing, it overwhelms the car so fast and so easy. You need to be able to change gear, and that's what I hate about this platform is you can't change the gearing. So I mean, dude, that's a huge, a massive void for some aftermarket company to come in and fix that problem. And I'll just start. Oh, did you hear that?
X-band, K-band, K-A-band.
Is it shaking? Like it rocks you back and forth.
GPS connected.
It's kind of badass. It's kind of badass actually. So I'll do a walk around here. So just make sure everybody's out because everyone's. Sometimes I just want to record. So I did turn around here. I did do R888s on the front and on the rear. I got a video coming up about that pretty soon. Yeah, I'm gonna give you my opinion on them. So let's get on the road here, and yeah, I'm gonna finish this out. You'll be able to hear the car. I'm gonna explain everything, and yeah, let's. My third attempt, like I said, I got a new camera because, man, I'm gonna tell you what, the car is, it's so violent anymore now with everything. Let me make sure that I'm recording it. It's so violent. So as you can hear, first gear is really, it's a lot better now. So, I don't know. I really hope that the blower wine's coming through, because that's probably, and for those of you that drive a ZL1 or have a ZL1, you really need to get a lower pulley. Lower pulley is it's an absolute freaking game changer in this car. Not everybody talks about it because you can't do it really, because it stresses the fuel system out, because it spins the freaking supercharger so fast and so hard. It just, like I say, it kills the DI. I hope that, but you can really hear it coupled with the DSX supercharger lid, but you can really freaking hear it now. And for those of you that are wondering, that supercharged, or that little orange light down here, the traction control, that has, I leave it on now. I don't care. I don't care if it cuts out, because this car is so crazy now. I'll just go, you can just hit it, and I'm gonna tell you what, if you leave traction off, you will go sideways. You will go sideways. Now these R AAAs do hook, but I'm just being honest with you. This car is, it's a different beast, way different than what it used to be. The port injection, believe it or not, my tuner did. What the hell's going on over there? My tuner did tell me that I would feel like some kind of responsiveness increase, like the throttle would be a lot more responsive, and it is. For those of you, I know, ooh, did you hear the pop? For those of you wondering, like, whatever, ooh, did you hear that? It's like a poof. I think it's a firewall, but I'm not sure. I'll have to get a camera back there. Like I said, the cops have been messing with me so much here lately. Yeah. Really put a kind of kink in that whole freaking thing. So, okay, so when people, they just do a cam and send the high side into overdrive by doing like a, I think it's like 38% increase on the lobe as far as like the DI side. So I get it, I understand, it's a cheaper way to go about it. Should Chevrolet given us the port and direct? Yes, but this is worth the investment. The 2 high PSI is the best, by far the best way to go. It's so smart the way that they did it, because I just think that this is going to be the wave of the future. I think that as far as all Gen 5 LT guys, that this is going to be where it's at, and this is what is going to be needed as far as taking your fuel to the next level. You have port injection now, and you have direct injection. Instead of maxing out your direct injection, now you can put the direct injection in a, it's still maxed out, but it's a doable range for it. And then you can take the stress off of the direct injection and put a lot of work on the port injection, which is cool, because now I have gasoline washing, or E85 washing over that intake valve. So there's no more of that problem as long as duty cycle comes in and those injectors start spraying, because it's on a boost related level, like a certain amount of boost, and then it'll start spraying. So as long as you're kicking them on every once in a while, that problem is solved as far as like direct injection goes. So that is by far my favorite upgrade, because the power response is just so much cleaner now. It's a lot cleaner, it's a lot more linear, and it's a lot snappier. It is. My tuner was right, 100% right. And the lower pulley. This blower, I don't know what it is, but you can go onto a calculator and calculate. Like I said, with the 965 lower and this 2.3 upper, this is about max speed as far as what this blower can spin at. Right now, I'm about just under 20 pounds of boost and about 27,000 RPM at the top of my red line. So that's about maximum as hard as you want to spin these blowers before you start working yourself backwards. So this setup is perfect. It's ideal, and I'm gonna tell you what, this is where a lot of people, I would quit if I were you. I understand it's a lot of money. This whole thing was about 22,000 from, you know, if you include the clutch and everything I did from like the time I wanted to do heads cam, the port injection, everything all in, but it's 100% worth it, because my dealer screwed me over. I've had to pay a $5,000 markup, but you know, this car stickered for $68,000 in 2022. 68, it was just a little over 68 grand. So, you know, that's amazing. As far as I'm concerned, dude, that's a freaking steal. So, Like I said, right now I'm about 105 into it. For those of you that are like, yeah, but the GT500, you know, the GT500, they're trading, I think they're on the decline right now, but they're trading for about 90 grand, which, you know, this is only like 15 away. And I got a feeling that this would kick a GT500's ass, because, you know, if this thing's pushing 1,000 crank or whatever, yeah, good luck, man. I mean, I can't remember what those things come with. I think it was like 760 or 775 or something, but yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke. So, and also I think the GT500s are having trouble with tuning the transmission, so that DCT really isn't, it's not the big savior like everybody thinks it is. So, here we go. Oh yeah. I really, really hope that blower whine's coming through. I really, really. Let's see if we can't. The temperature's dropping. Woo! This is perfect. Now that the response is a lot faster and the gears are stacked on top of each other a lot more now, your shift extension is going to be a lot shorter. Now that the shift extension is shorter, well, that in turn, it's going to allow me to run more timing, because the more you can keep it in the power band, that butter zone for the motor, the better, or actually the more timing you can throw at it. And that was kind of the magic of the 10-speed, was the 10-speed was just like wow, because if you remember when I rode in Burley's, that was kind of like, I couldn't believe it, because it doesn't sound like the RPM level changes, but that 10-speed just keeps you right there in the power. But man, I hope this is coming through. Maybe the blower whine will come through better here. I can get this this normie car out of the way here. Well, I'll see if I can't open it up a little bit. But yes, so the rear end, I kind of got to live with what I got to live with right now. The punchiness, I got my low end punch back, but my top end is gone, and I hate it because this car has no legs anymore. So maybe I'll have to get like a drag pack or something. That supercharger whine's gotta be coming through, man. Oh, dude. If not, some of these cameras are weird. The microphones pick up different things here, but so yes. Oh, the gas mileage is going down dramatically. Like, it is horrendous. It's easily single digits now. I can't even really calculate it with the 373s back in. So, you know, any more than this, if I go 2650, or if I go, you know, I don't know. I don't know, because the only thing that's stock on this car in it left anymore is, like I said, the short block. Just the rotating assembly and the block itself. That's it. That's all that's left that's stock on this car. Comment below if you guys got any questions or whatever. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Here. Yes. So I'm gonna put some more miles on this clutch. Hopefully the clutch loosens up. And other than that, I really hope you guys are having an awesome day. Like the video, comment below, subscribe on your way out, and we will talk to you guys on the next one. Later.